All right, we're back with more of Avadon 3, the Warborn. Let's go ahead and continue here. We met up with the familiar face, Diren, back in oh, what the heck? This creature is a huge gnarled mass of vines, wood, and long thorns. It doesn't respond to your presence. It just stands perfectly still. A hole in the vine canopy above enables the nourishing sunlight to land on it. You say a few words, but it doesn't respond. The shamans must be able to control them. So, yeah, we met up with we found or I should say, Diren met up with us and asked us about Redbeard. Of course, it's nice to see a familiar face again, but eh. You walk through the Green Refuge for the first time. As promised, it is a fortress made of plants. The walls are masses of thick, waxy vines which stretch up and meet overhead. The air is fresh and clean. The air is warm and slightly humid. Birds live in the walls, peeking out, chirping, and occasionally splatting foul substances onto your head and shoulders. Domes surround you. They contain the defenders of the refuge. Massive plant constructs, deadly works of shamanic magic. However, nobody comes out to greet you. However, you can see a meeting to the east. Warriors are arguing. Your way into the Green Refuge is blocked by two men having a passionate argument. One of them is a warrior of the Keva, the commander of the refuge. His face is flush red and he is shouting furiously. He isn't at all scared of who he is shouting at. Then this is surprising because he is yelling at Redbeard. Your current master is speaking in a calm, slow manner, but one look at his face tells you how angry he is. He doesn't react well to being questioned. Redbeard says, "You forget yourself. You are my underling. You have no right to order around my servants." The commander replies, "I don't care who you think you are. The Green Refuge is older than us both, and it has rules. You can't have a forge here." The commander notices that you are watching. Redbeard is lost in his rage. Denez, you have forgotten yourself. Isn't that also somebody we know from... Your companions act as if they haven't noticed the argument taking place. They are looking with great fascination at anything else. Seems wise. The commander, whose name is apparently Denez, responds, Redbeard, you have forgotten yourself as well. You are not keeper. You are only here as a courtesy. You can't imagine the horrible fate that befell the last person who talked to Redbeard like that. Only small fires are allowed in the Green Refuge. No smithy, no forge. Your blacksmith will stay outside the east approach. Have a problem? Ask Protus. You know, the keeper of Avadon. Redbeard stares at Denez, grasping for a response. Then he hisses, "I will remember this. I am surrounded by fools. I will have to make corrections." Then he leads his guards back into the refuge. The commander sighs and follows. Redbeard doesn't even look back at you. At last, you enter the heart of the Green Refuge. Your companions see the hand encampment ahead and are eager to rush off to grab a desirable spot. This will be your new base of operations. This is now where you will go to meet Redbeard, change your party, and switch around your scarabs. Okay. I'm guessing now when we visit Camp Nightshade, it won't quite be the same. All right, we'll level these. Level these. Level those. Ooh, it leveled up a 9 again? Okay. So yeah, unlock charm and... Oh, what else do I have to level up? I kind of want to retrain if I'm being perfectly honest, because I feel like I do kind of miss stuff. No, I'll just stay true to these. Okay, I did screw up there because I should have actually leveled these up first, but whatever. The first grove inside the Green Refuge is the hand encampment. Several friendly faces greet you. The 5 hands assigned to aid you are all here. Okay, the one we already have is better. But we will do that. I wonder if they have all new dialogue for us. You meet Torch again. He managed to get here safely back from Kurek tour, and he settled back into his comfortable routine of doing whatever annoying jobs need doing. You check in and make sure he doesn't have any new messages for you. Happily, he doesn't. As you prepare to settle back in camp and have a well-earned rest, you decide to check in on Kalita. She looks, even by her standards, agitated. Raylan, she says, there was a camp of deserters in Vanna's Reach. A whole camp with towers and fortifications. They are sitting there brazenly out in plain sight. Tolerated. I need to ask you about it. How did you hear about it? The hands gossip constantly. You know this. Some days it is all we have to do. We all see that this shameful place is ignored. But what about it? She doesn't bother to hide her anger. It does little for morale to know that as we fight and die, this pack of cowards gets to make their own little town. It dishonors us all. It shames us before the Farlands. It bothers me too. That relieves me greatly. I was starting to think I was going mad. Deserter scum and nobody cares. And the worst thing about it? Redbeard. Where is Redbeard? What does this have to do with Redbeard? Redbeard got our reports. Redbeard knows about this flagrant abuse of our laws, and he ignores it. Her voice grows gradually louder. The other soldiers find pressing business to occupy their attentions elsewhere. I've not hidden my... Oh, her voice grows gradually louder. The other soldiers find pressing business to occupy their attentions elsewhere. I've not hidden my opinion of the old man who leads us, but this... He finally shows mercy and is for these cravens? You are right. The camp shouldn't be ignored. Your words calm Kalita down. Yes, I agree. I must think about this. We are hands. There is much we can do. Thank you, Raylan. What else did you need? Okay, so she had a new dialogue. Botan is sitting by the fire. However, he isn't working on his gear. Whether it's careful preparation or a nervous habit, this is the first time you've seen him here not doing it. Instead, he stares quietly into the fire. You start to turn and leave him alone, but he looks up at you. Raylan, please join me. How are you? I have just been to see Redbeard. He wanted to talk to me, evaluate my skills and loyalty, I think. I had heard of him many times, of course, but I had never met him. You had never met him before? I was conscripted to Avadon after acting keeper Protus had taken control. Redbeard had already been thrown out at that point. Talking about him was politically unwise. Protus wisely made it clear that insubordination would be punished. So what did you think? Botan looks up at you. Raylan, I am going to trust you because I have to. I can't fight with you unless I think you will protect me. I am going to say something risky to you. Redbeard is different from Protus. He is different from what I expected. Very much. A difference doesn't seem surprising. No, of course. I just didn't expect this sort of difference. How is he different? Redbeard is, on the surface, very calm, directed, vigorous. He is very well practiced in hiding his true mood. Not so good, however, that he can overcome my own training in detecting lies. To me, something is very plain about him. What is it? His rage and his desire for vengeance are only barely under control. He plans to unleash enormous violence, even more than I am used to, and we are his instruments. You have spoken to him more than I have. Much more. Do you agree with this? Redbeard is a true leader. That much is true. He is old and he trembles, but he is still powerful and cunning. If we trust his leadership, we are obligated to follow the path he chooses. If we ever don't trust him, however, we are obligated to... Never mind. Let's change the subject. What else did you need? Alright. Okay. So he doesn't have anything new. For once, Nathalie is not working. She sits at her table, her palms face down on the wood, staring straight ahead. Her expression is blank. When you join her, she says in a quiet voice, I have been to see Redbeard. He remembered me. She looks at you. Did you know I served him directly once? For how long? A year or so. He personally selected me as a hand because of my huge potential. This was before he decided that potential would be squandered. He gave me orders directly for over a year before he tired of me. What happened to you during your service? He confided in me for a time, told me of his fears for the Pact, how he sensed that the Far Lands were planning an attack. I roamed all of Linnaeus, trying to find evidence that he could use to convince Hanvar's council. I destroyed many traitors, but I never found what he needed. Why did he stop working with you? Because I stopped being able to pretend I was happy with how I was treated. He put so much trust in me, but he never gave me access to the full magical library. I could have done anything for him if he had trusted me. Instead, he thought I would lose myself in power. He feared my ambition. Was Redbeard right? I was power hungry. Yes, I still am. I should be. Power enables me to do my job better. I want power, and more than that, I have earned it. I deserve it. But was I ever a threat to him? Was I ever anything less than loyal? No. And now you serve Redbeard again. Yes, I do. He has been so lowered in status, and yet he still sees me as an unreliable servant. She looks at you. You've spent some time with him, Raylan. Tell me, do you trust him? I have to trust him. He is my commander now. A wise attitude. Remember, Redbeard only cares about two things, the Pact and his own power, which he cares about more, only he knows. You are a pawn to him, nothing more. But back to cheerier topics, like our unending war. What did you need? Then I will return to my studies. She frowns at her old scrolls, all of which she knows by heart, and returns to her exercises. Okay, so only 3 of them had different dialogue, but the others, Sign says to Keeper's Hall. Massive guards watch you as you walk by. Steel doors are set in the cliff face to the east. Redbeard insists on far more than mere vines and plant monsters to keep him safe. A guard says, the Keeper is in there. Think he's waiting for you. Where did we see Watcher Denez in the last game? I forgot. Because I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. Redbeard's table is now covered with maps of the Wild Realm. All of his reports and scrolls about Chimeria have vanished. When you approach, he is poring over the mountain of information. He nervously scratches his neck with his hand. He says, as you can see, our work in Chimeria is done. We need to move to a new focus. Though you were there for a while, I did want to ask. You have more of a feel for them now. What did you think of our foes, the Chimerians? They are competent, but they were no match for me. A good answer. Though you shouldn't give Farlanders any credit, even if it is true. Kind words only give them hope. Break their spirits whenever you can. They didn't merit respect anyway. Once you reveal their true weakness, they had no hope. Their true weakness... Chief Tilla's love for her son, her fear for his life. I know I am belaboring the point, but it is vital if you are to control our foes. Once that weakness was revealed to us, they had no chance. I will use any strategy I can against our enemies. Redbeard smiles. Good, you are learning fast. When dealing with the Farlands, there is no such thing as honor or dishonor. Only the health of our people matters. Nothing else. And you would have used Tilla's son against her. Of course. I would have been harsher than you. Honestly, he should be in our dungeons now, having every little secret stripped from his mind. Who knows what he didn't think to tell us. Family and loved ones are our greatest vulnerability. To trust, to care about someone, it is... I had a dream last night. What dream? I dreamed I was back in Avadon. I dreamed Hart Miranda, my old advisor, that traitor. She came to me. She was an angry spirit, and she tried... Never mind, I woke up. It was a very unusual dream. I have learned to beware such things. Might it be significant? I believe it is. Such tiny portents can herald great disasters. I think I will find out sooner than I'd like. Now, then, we have real matters to discuss. I've been dealing with the rebels of Correct Tor. You tell Redbeard what you've been doing since he last spoke. It's not easy. He seems angry and distracted most of the time, but then he pounces on you with sharp questions about minor details. It's an unnerving process. Finally, he nods. You have done well so far. I would have been tempted to slip into Correct Tor and kill every single rebel there. You correctly detected an opportunity. They want me to go to the border of the corruption. Good. This will give them information, but we will also gain it too. If we can solve this problem first, not only might it end the rebellion, but it would prove my value to Hanvar's council. Go there quickly. I will find it very useful. I need to know if I can negotiate with the rebels on the Pact's behalf. What? Oh, yes. I suppose that is more than the power of a regular hand. He grabs a piece of paper and scribbles a few things on it. Then he signs it, applies a seal, and sets it to one side. Tell Defender Emery that you negotiate with my full authority behind you. And Raylin, I place great faith in you. I am forced to. Don't you dare humiliate me. Oh, no, I don't want that. I wanted that book. In terms of land, the Wild Realm is the largest of the 5 states in the Midlands Pact. In population, it is, by a narrow margin, the smallest. Of course, that is only counting human population. If you count the drakes, werewolves, and other lethal pets of the Wild Realm tribes, the number goes way up. Ignoring the tame beasts of the western tribes is a deadly mistake. The Wild Realm is not so much a nation as a loose, very loose confederation of barbarian tribes. They are not insulted by the word barbarian. In fact, they claim it with great pride. As rest of Linnaeus moved into stone cities with thick walls, the tribesfolk of the Wild Realm continued to roam their vast plains and woods. Normally, in any conflict between cities and tribes, the cities win. But the shamans of the Wild Realm, with their powerful chants and lethal reptilian servants, have done well maintaining their independence. Though the tribes love to fight each other, for land, for supplies, for artifacts, they will unite in an instant to deal with invaders. The Wild Realm's time in the Pact is now in question. The individual tribes fiercely claimed absolute control over their lands in defiance of the laws of the Pact. 5 years ago, this defiance erupted into open rebellion, and half the Wild Realm fights alongside the Farlands against the Pact and Avadon. The Age of Chaos has torn the Wild Realm apart, and if the dispute is not settled and rebellion quashed, the Pact may collapse. The corruption is one of the Farlands, the outer regions that the Pact was formed to hold at bay. Of the Farlands, however, the corruption is the one that is least like a nation or territory. It is better described as a mass whirl of uncontrolled magic, hideous monsters, and burned, dead land. Actually, the corruption serves best as a cautionary tale of what happens when magic is not properly controlled. Nobody knows what the wizards up in those mountains were trying to do roughly 5 centuries ago. All that we know is the result, a wave of raw, devastating chaos that engulfed all the peninsula before it faded. There were cities and settlements out there once. Some tribes from the Wild Realm and the Cava were expanding into those barren hills. When the disaster occurred, however, only those who fled immediately made it to the border alive. The survivors were taken by spectral nightmares and the Walking Dead. Since then, the dread magic that holds the corruption has showed no signs of fading. Nothing grows, and only those unpleasant entities who don't actually need food to survive dwell there, and reproduce there, and send the occasional horde of zombies or whatnot north to cause trouble. Nobody knows the source of the corruption or what infernal master might secretly rule it. This dark place remains a constant threat. In the last few years, the corruption has begun to expand, sending tendrils of dead land into the richness of the wild realm. The mighty fortress of Avadon is both place and symbol. It represents the pact and everything it is willing to survive. Everyone in Linnaeus fears the warriors and assassins of Avadon. The gaze of Avadon can be lethal. There is nothing its agents will not do to maintain the stability of the pact. The Black Age, a brutal civil war that lasted over 30 years, showed that the five nations of the pact had little in common beyond their desire for safety. They could hang together, allied and strong, but there had to be a force counteracting those who would pull it apart. Thus, the Keep of Avadon. It has one keeper, selected by Hanvar's council, who rules for life. Though considering how many enemies that keeper makes and how many assassins he or she attracts, that life can be shortened dramatically. Avadon stands independent from the council. It is its own law. The council and individuals can petition it for aid, but it primarily watches on its own for threats to the stability of the pact, inside and out. A leader rises in the Farlands who might rise to true power. He disappears. A brigand in the Cava who is angering Hoplanda by raiding over the border, she is stopped. Even members of Hanvar's council itself can be removed, jailed, or even killed if the Keeper deems it necessary. However, Avadon has been painfully reduced by the dawn of the Age of Chaos. The fortress is partly in ruins, its warriors are few, and its keeper, the legendary Redbeard, has been ousted by the pact and gone into hiding. The leader of Avadon is its keeper. Chosen by Hanvar's council, he or she serves for life. How long that life actually is can be a matter of some unpredictability. The first keeper of Avadon was Talera, who ascended to its throne when the fortress itself was completed in cycle 6240. She served for 5 tumultuous years, rooting out and destroying many who could not accept the treaty that ended the Black Age. Of course, in this process, she attracted many enemies. One of them finally got poison in her wine in 6245. Avadon was leaderless for 2 years until the council selected Hiram of the Cava to be keeper. He rooted out the foes of the pact for 8 years before he started showing an undue interest in the members of Hanvar's council itself. He disappeared in 6257 and no trace of him was ever found. The next 4 keepers proved unable to master the power of Avadon. Confused and without allies, they fell to ambitious underlings who tended to become keeper and died not long after. Disturbed by all this chaos, in 6265 the council chose Redbeard to be keeper. He seemed at first to be affable and easily controlled. As long as he did all the council required, he would be protected. Redbeard turned out, however, to be far more cunning than expected. He held his post for over 50 years until Hanvar's council drove him from Avadon and replaced him with an acting keeper. Redbeard's current location is unknown. Like all the keeper halls, this one has a portal. If it was properly charged and focused, it could take you anywhere in Linnaeus in one horrible, nauseating instant. This one isn't charged. You don't step into it as you don't want tiny, moist particles of you spread all over the known lands. You approach the left crystal, sitting comfortably in its new home in the Green Refuge. As before, it is guarded, but from a distance. It won't talk to you unless you are alone. When you approach, a dim light flickers to life within the stone. You hear the voice of Delesse. Raylan, you are there. Yes, I see the stone has reached its new home. I won't bother to ask where. You are done with Chimeria. Yes, your mission is done there. Do you know what I did there? I know most of it. I have so many agents in Chimeria, after all. They are a close ally. Well, they were. I have spoken to them and learned much. And what did you learn? That you made me look weak. I offered many rewards if they stayed in the war with us. Your rival proved that I am distant and weak. I doubt they will be loyal allies much longer. You did this. You defeated me. The war is far from over, though. But I am curious. What happened to the humble little town of Vantockstead? I wasn't able to learn. You don't already know? I don't have Agent Sayre. It is a small, unimportant place, really. I'm more interested in you. I want to know what you did to them. You will find out soon enough. No, probably not. They are small and unimportant. I hope you show them a small measure of mercy. I don't think you will. I think in the end the pact will be brutal to Camarilla. So Camarilla is lost to us. Camarilla will leave the war. Yes, you made them refuse my help. They will suffer more losses. They will surrender. Then the pact will get its revenge. That is how the story always ends. The Camarians will suffer, and you caused it. I only have one more question. How does that make you feel? I feel like a villain is trying to make me feel guilty. Fair enough, I'll let you resume your new job, bringing the cruelty of pack justice to the Wildworm rebels. We'll see if the results of that change your attitude. Before you can respond, the crystal goes dark. Okay, so we can't talk to Redbeard about it, but... Ooh, what level with this one? We'll level that up. Let's level this and this. There are a pair of massive wooden doors set into the cliff face to the north. A sign says that they lead to a trophy hall, guarded by many sentinels. There is a warrior of the Wild Realm sitting here, tending to his weapons. A hand insignia, newly sewn, has been pinned to his shoulder. He has been fighting for a long time, but his conscription happened only recently. He motions for you to join him. After he offers you a drink and food, he says, "Welcome, Hand. Well, fellow Hand. I still am not used to it. I am Raider Ritter, keeper of trophies. Sorry, Hand Ritter. I am still a raider." "How long have you been a hand?" Ritter laughs. "Weeks? A month?" Not long after Redbeard arrived, he began sending out patrols and raiding parties. There weren't enough hands, so the most able warrior was grabbed. That was me. "Who conscripted you?" "Redbeard himself. Is that an honor?" "Wait, is Redbeard a real keeper? Did he even have the power to conscript me? Am I a hand of Avadon or not?" He laughs bitterly and takes a swig of ale. "My life is now very confusing. You didn't want to be a hand?" "No, I spent my life serving the Wild Realm. Now I serve..." "Who? Redbeard? Avadon? All the Pact? What are my powers as a hand? Can I do everything now?" "I think I have limits, but I don't." He shakes his head. "I didn't ask for any of this. The power, the responsibility. I only wanted to do my duty. What do you think of Avadon?" "I support it. I'm forced to now. Yes, I think Avadon is powerful and they help more than they hurt. I wish I knew what I think of Redbeard. I don't know if he is my true leader or not. I don't know if he could have stopped the rebellion. I just follow orders. I try not to think about it." "How do you feel about the rebellion?" "On that, there is no confusion. The rebels are fools. The rebels fight to keep the Wild Realm the same, but change always comes. I learned that from our tribe's shaman when I was little. If the rebels had listened to their shamans, maybe things would have been better." Handbritter sits at the fire and speaks with you. He occasionally shifts his shoulder around as if the hand insignia is itching him. When he moves, the numerous amulets and carved bone symbols he wears click together. You talk about war, both the one going and the battles in the past. Ritter knows a lot of history. It probably comes along with guarding the trophies. You are a raider. I am. That is my main duty. The rebels are to the west. I keep them there. I come from the Far Runners, the most fearsome raiders of our land. Where have you been raiding? Rebel villages, the villages of my people. It is a true challenge because I have no tricks that they don't already know. Yet, I am good at the sad work. I guess that's why Redbeard picked me. Tell me about the trophies. Many of them are kept here, badges of honor, signs of wild realm courage in battles over many years. Tribes send them here to be stored. They are guarded by sentinels and watched by me. I watch over them. It has been my job for many years. I am sworn to do it, whatever Redbeard tells me to do. Stay out of the trophy hall, by the way. The sentinels will kill you if they find you. Why don't the tribes keep their trophies? They do for years. Then the warriors who took them get old and die, but the trophies must be saved. They are the history of our tribes. They come to me and I watch over them. How long have trophies been kept here? I don't know. A long time. The trophy halls were dug out centuries ago. I don't know why they are kept underground. Probably to keep from hurting the magic of the refuge. To hear the shamans talk, the refuge is so delicate that one cow getting sick will make the place rot and fall over. Can I look at the trophies? Hand Ritter shakes his head. We are hands. I should let you pass. However, I am sworn. None see the trophies until they prove themselves to me. You have not done this. This was my duty before I became a hand. Though, there is a trophy I want. Me. Not for the vault. If I had it, I might let you in. There was a trophy you were looking for? Yes. However, it is in a very important place. Important to the war. I won't send spies and thieves there until the place isn't important anymore. Maybe later. Dang, we have a lot of people to talk to in this part. Or not in this part, but you all know what I mean, in like this whole area. Though there's been a war raging for years now, a small grove of the Green Refuge is still reserved for botany. One old, angry shaman controls this plot of land, and woe will come to any who try to take it. When you approach, he barks, "Stay off my plants! I don't care if you're a hand, or heart, or elbow. They are valuable specimens." Once he's positioned you safely on the path, he calms down. "I am Shaman Anton. I grow plants. I breed new crops and such. You are a hand, right?" He looks at your insignia. "I want help." "What do you do here?" "I work with plants, same as I've done for 30 years. Better crops, trees that resist blight. I'm a shaman. As nature shapes us, I'm allowed to shape nature. Some say I shouldn't be doing this work during the war. They are wrong. How are the others wrong? What is more important than food? What keeps us warm besides wood? Soldiers who starve can't fight. My work is more important now than ever, no matter what idiots say. Have you met Redbeard?" He walked through my grove once, nodded, moved on. Hasn't bothered me since. It's a good thing. I don't need more meddlers. Any advances lately? No. Dinez asked me to research the corruption. He's not a fool, so I listened. Research what exactly? How to tell if the corruption is spreading and how it spreads. Maybe it comes through plants or spores. If I can show plants are involved, we might be able to push the infection back. When you are near, Shaman Anton can't spend time taking clippings or caring for his samples. Instead, he watches you to make sure you don't step on anything. He doesn't like it when you are around. Can I trade with you? Anton snorts, offended. I'm not a merchant, and all I have are shoots and leaves. The blacksmith outside the east gate trades, I think. Tester her. I'd like to know more about the Green Refuge. He looks up. Nice, isn't it? Then he looks back at you. It's nice. It needs to be pruned occasionally. That's all I know about it. You said that you want my help. Yes, I am studying the spread of the corruption. I want mushroom spores. Infected mushrooms fully intact from freshly infected land. The newest border of the corruption. I need pristine samples. Don't be lazy. Is it safe to bring corruption samples here? Safer here than most places. The Green Refuge is suffused with powerful magic. The corruption won't spread here. not when the border is so far away. The samples must be pristine. I need a prime specimen, heavy with bulbs of fresh spores. I don't waste my time on trash. Any dangers I should know about? The corruption is danger enough. Don't eat or drink. Don't try tasting the mushroom. Don't inhale the spores. If you have a chance to do something an idiot would do, don't do that thing. Can you tell me more about the corruption? Why? It's not my business. I only study plants. My specialty is oats. Shaman Anton is resident botanist of the Green Refuge. He is studying the expansion of the corruption, and he asks you to track down some samples for him. His first request is for you to go to the border with the corruption and bring back some fungi samples. Fresh, prime, undamaged fungi, heavy with spore pods. The Pact is a very prudent alliance, eager to understand as much as possible about every threat on its borders. Much research has taken place in and around the corruption, trying to understand its nature and whether it poses a threat. In a time of excessive ambition, the Pact built 4 monitor bases inside the corruption, trying to study and monitor it from the inside. They were constructed, one after another, as each one was engulfed and destroyed. The corruption is a place of chaos. Each monitor base began to crumble and face inexplicable failures moments after it was staffed and opened. Each time a base crumbled, most humans settling it died. Few escaped the corruption. There is something about the corruption that is hostile to life and order. Nothing can live there except the alien, twisted life forms it creates. You meet Commander Dinez again. Last time you saw him, this warrior of the Cava was at the entrance, shouting at Redbeard. So at least you know he is brave. Now he is sitting at the fire, cleaning sap off of his shield. The Green Refuge is lovely, but it also tends to make everything a mess. He happily sets the job aside when you approach. He looks up at you. We weren't properly introduced. I am Dinez. Welcome to the Refuge. I suppose you're here to lecture me for being rude to your master. What were you and Redbeard arguing about? He wanted to set up a forge inside of the Green Refuge. It's forbidden. I made them move it outside the east gate. It's not defended, I know, but the smithy isn't allowed inside. Why not? Fire? Dinez laughs. Believe it or not, no. These walls of vines won't burn. Ever. Weird magic, right? No, it's because the work of iron disrupts the magic of the refuge. I don't understand it, but I also know better than to argue with the shamans. Whether Redbeard is right or not, it's unwise to argue. Well, I'm from the Cava. We're not wise. We're not clever. We just know the law and that the law should be obeyed. The law says I have a master. It is not Redbeard. But I don't want to argue about it. You're here now and you seem sane. I could use your help. Tell me about the Green Refuge. He looks up at the birds chirping in the canopy overhead. It's beautiful and maddening. We are well hidden, and this place is surprisingly easy to defend. It's also dirty, and it makes me nervous. It's a great asset to Avadon, and I'm sworn to keep it safe. We just have to follow the rules. How long has the refuge been here? He laughs. I don't know, and the shamans won't tell me. All I know is they offered it to Avadon 2 centuries ago in return for some great service or other. It's ours for now, unless Redbeard destroys it. Who created the refuge? I wish I knew. Did shamans grow it from nothing? Was magic already here and they shaped it? Are there other refuges out there that the shamans keep hidden for themselves? I ask, but they aren't talking. There are a lot of rules? Not so many, really. It's hardy magic, the refuge is. The only real rule is that nature has to be the real power here. We can use very little other magic. No working stone except underground. And no working of steel. When Avadon made me commander here, I swore to keep this place safe. I will, no matter what Redbeard says. Your responsibility is still to follow Avadon's orders. Now Dinez is annoyed. I have been a lifelong servant of Avadon. I am a true believer in the Black Fortress. But you must understand, Redbeard pretends he still rules Avadon, but Protus is the true leader now. Commander Dinez sits at the fire, tending to his gear. You sit and chat with him for a while about the state of the war. He doesn't like Redbeard, but he is entirely polite to you. You are from the Cava. I am a warrior of the sands, a follower of the stone code, trained in the arts of battle there, then given the highest honor, being picked to serve Avadon. As he talks, he sometimes fingers a symbol hanging around his neck. It's an intricately carved piece of dark wood. Why aren't you a hand? I don't know, but I have a guess. Redbeard was still in charge when I was recruited. He didn't think I was servile enough to be a full hand. I think he was right. Why were you brought to the Wild Realm? After Redbeard was kicked out of Avadon, Acting Keeper Protus put top priority on ending the rebellion. We can't crush our enemies outside until we calm things down inside, right? So to deal with the rebels, warriors from the Cava were what was called for. Why are warriors from the Cava in demand? There is a lot of bad blood out here. Old grudges, bloody raids, hunger for revenge. We need people here who are calm, who are just, who will obey and enforce the law. Who is better at that than the Cava? What is that symbol? He touches a wooden symbol, a rare privilege. When I wear it, all the defenses of the Green Refuge, hidden and invisible, can be commanded by me. For example, I can tell the Sentinels what to do. I'd like to know more about the Sentinels. They came with the Refuge. They aren't intelligent. They don't talk. I don't know how they were made or how old they are. Maybe they all grow out of little pots somewhere. I don't know. I know they're fearless and fierce in a fight. That's enough for me. Can you let me command the Sentinels? Of course not. The shamans trust me. They gave me a rare privilege and I will obey the rules they set. I didn't give the symbol to Redbeard either. Believe me when I say he wasn't happy about it. You mentioned that you have work for me. I do. I am bound to this fort, but a hand can wander. You can hunt. This is good because there are several rebels who just need to die. Their crimes are too great. For example, there is a raider named Alric. I want you to kill him, and I will pay well for it. Will this make it hard to make peace with the rebels? No, some of their number are too drenched in blood. Their crimes are too great. If they live, a true peace will be impossible. I think the rebels in Correct Tor will understand. If not, it's their problem. What are Alric's crimes? He led the sacking of 3 villages. I won't go into the gruesome details. I'll just say that if he lives, there will be a lot of bounty hunters and score settlers running around causing trouble. Not wanted. Where can I find Alric? Our scouts sometimes follow rebel scouts and the other way around. Their scouts have been at the border of the corruption. A lot. When we were following them, we think we saw Alric there. He's been hiding just inside the corruption. So be wary. What does the corruption do to the people within it? It warps them, changes them. If they eat anything grown inside the corruption, it's even more extreme. Maybe he was turned into a harmless pile of goo. Or maybe he might be more dangerous now. That is all I need. And I wish you an honorable path and victory in battle. Commander Dinez is in charge of the Green Refuge. He is leading an effort to kill the worst and most vicious of the rebels. If they are allowed to live, making peace will be very difficult. The first target is named Alric. He was last seen on the border with the corruption. Golly, this is a lot of... Oh, no, I don't want to... Okay. I don't want to go out. Yeah, I just wanted to still explore the area. But like I was saying, golly, this is a lot of area. I mean, we'll talk to that blacksmith here in a moment, but... Okay, there's somebody right here. Okay, that kind of wasn't worth it, but whatever. Okay, well at least we got another lockpick now. I did also want to kind of revisit Camp Nightshade to see what it looks like now. But first, let's go ahead and talk to that shaman. Or not, blacksmith. A small rough smithy has been set up just outside the Green Refuge East Gate. The equipment looks like it was brought here when Redbeard arrived, and then it all thrown out the door. A Hoklundan woman is working hard to keep the fire going. She waves when you approach. Glad you found me. I'm Sechi. I'm the smith, and as I'm sure you guessed, I also trade for supplies. Not much out here in the woods. Why are you out here? The rules: we're not allowed to work steel or stone inside the refuge. If we try, the shamans get angry. Why? Something about the magic here. It's wood magic or dirt magic or something. I guess hitting steel with a hammer makes the spells all wobbly. Redbeard seemed angry about it. He was furious. Made me happy to hide out here. I don't want to be around the keeper when he's mad. Not a safe place to be. Sechi is still working at her forge, doing her best to keep the fires hot. There's a long list of repair jobs waiting to be done. What do you sell? Well, there's a weaponry I crafted, decent steel stuff. Then there's a mixed gear I traded for. I've done some good scavenging. I even have a few scarabs. Let me see your arms and armor. Sechi is a fine worker of steel. Avadon only recruits the finest craftsmen. Ooh, I can probably buy this and get that quest over with. Show me your mixed gear. Okay, nothing we need here. I don't want to buy anything. Alright, anything else? Like to sell something? Alright, looks like there was one more person we needed to talk to, and then we can move on here. Several residents of the Green Refuge are gathered here. A young shaman sits cross-legged in the middle. Her eyes are closed and she is chanting softly. She is surrounded by a ring of cows. When you approach, they turn and stare at you. They are not friendly cows. Menace hangs thick in the air. They stare back, uncowed. Excuse me? The shaman opens her eyes and looks up at you. Ah, so sorry. I heard new hands arrived. I should have been ready. The cows continue to stare at you with loathing. She motions for you to sit with her. I am Shaman Lice, one of the Lice. One of the tenders of our refuge. The cows watch you coldly as you pass, alert for treachery. What is up with these cows? Shaman Lise looks at the cows. They look at her warmly for a moment, then their cold eyes turn back to you. I am close to nature here. The animals know me. They know I watch over them. I won't eat them or any meat. They know I will keep the hunters in check. It has been hard lately, though. The wildlife is disturbed. You don't eat meat? No, it is my way, and it has been since I was young. It is a requirement for me to do my work here. I can't commune with the cows if they're afraid I'm going to stab them. Can our hunters kill the animals? Some animals are meant to be hunted. A small amount of that is allowable, as long as it is limited. Nature here needs to be kept in very careful balance if the refuge is to remain strong. How are the animals disturbed? I know, but I don't want to distract you from your real work. I can tell you, but only if you really want to hear it. You tend to the refuge? Lysae takes a deep breath, stretches, and smiles. There is a long pause while she enjoys the scene. The Green Refuge is a garden, a special sort of garden. Like all gardens, it requires tending. The plants and the animals must be sustained and kept in balance. Shaman Anton looks after the plants. I commune with the animals. As she talks, her smile fades. She looks carefully at the vine walls as if hunting for flaws. What is bothering you? She looks at the vines and the cows. Is it that obvious? I didn't want to trouble you, Han. There is a disturbance in the magic here. I thought I would be able to fix it myself, but why do the animals matter? A refuge like this, peaceful and alive, yet strong and impregnable, requires all of nature to be in perfect balance. We must settle in here peacefully and be welcomed by the earth. This means animals as well as plants. Who made this refuge? She gives you a mischievous smile. Oh, I wouldn't know something like that. This place is old, and we shamans don't know everything. You don't believe her. Are there similar refuges? There might be. The wild rim is large, and our forests are thick. Why was this one given to Avadon? As a gesture. We shamans know that the pack gives us the best chance to live in peace and practice our ways. Many years ago, we gave Avadon this place to show, whatever our differences, we are all allies. What do you think of Redbeard? I know that there is a battle for control over Avadon. I have no opinion. I have a task which I do for the good of the pact. I do it and do it well. That is all. Shaman Lysay sits cross-legged in the middle of the circle. Her cows surround her, silently threatening any who disturb her vigil. There is a disturbance in the local magic. A creature has been attracted by the magic of the grove. It is a drake named Shazaz. It only came recently. It keeps to itself mostly. However, it has been enthusiastically hunting the local livestock. The balance has been disrupted, and it will only grow worse until someone can convince Shazaz to cull the wildlife elsewhere sometimes. I can help save your cows. Lysay nods, and you will want payment, I am sure. I am able to reward you. The Drake's Cave is not far to the north. Shazaz's burrow is in the north side of the rocky hill the refuge rests against. We ask little. We only want Shazaz to fly a few miles away before taking his prey. Drakes are unpredictable, but they usually respond to reason delivered forcefully. Tell me about this drake. I don't know much about Shazaz. The creature only settled in a few months ago. It slipped in quietly, and I only sensed it after it had settled in. I told the hands immediately, of course, but they were too busy with the rebels to help. Have you been out to visit Shazaz? Of course not. I am not a warrior. Drakes are able to be peaceful, but if I walked into his lair, I might prove too tasty a morsel for it to resist. How do I get the drake to agree? Ask nicely. If it refuses, threaten it. You are a hand. I know you have your negotiation techniques. Will the refuge mind if I killed the drake? She gives us some thought. The cows pick up on her confusion and move sadly. Drakes are creatures of chaos, but they can also be valuable allies. I think if Shazaz were dealt with fairly, it could help us. Also, I hate the unnecessary destruction of any creature, even one who eats all of my cows. The cows move in rage over their fallen brethren. Shaman Lysay is the beast tender of the Green Refuge. A drake named Shazaz recently settled nearby. This sensitive soul wants your help keeping the beast from doing any damage. Shazaz has been culling too much of the local livestock. You need to travel to the drake and convince her to do some of her hunting farther away. The cow looks at you ominously. Its eyes are full of murder and darkness. It is a tireless and suspicious defender of the Green Refuge. Okay. Okay, drake diplomacy is just right up here. Let's stick with Selena and Botan then. Wait. Let's actually... Let's take them too, because Rude Owl might have dialogue regarding this. But first, I am going to take a quick trip over to Camp Nightshade to see what changed there. Let me go ahead and save the game right here, and I'll see you all soon with the next part.